Hello, this is John Ramsey, and this is My Big Comeback. If you notice, I got this beautiful backdrop today, and it's because I've got Taylor and Cole Sauls with me on today's podcast, and glad to have you all. We're going to talk about the many, many things that you do, but first off, tell me a little bit about how Taylor and Cole got together. How did you all meet?
I'll let you take
You want to
this
let
one.
me tell that one?
You tell that one.
Cole is actually originally from Alabama.
What part?
Opp, Alabama.
Opp, Alabama.
Yep.
Big city, big city.
Yep,
Bet you
yep.
couldn't tell by the accent,
Rattlesnake
right?
Rodeo.
And we had a mutual friend who actually just so happened to, I guess, be your neighbor that I was friends with on Facebook. And oh my gosh, I'm going to embarrass this man so bad when I tell the
can't do
story, but I'm going to. So
Now we really want you to tell it.
he,
She's going to do it.
he sent me a message one day and asked me if I was as beautiful on the inside as I was on the outside.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Hook, line, and
was.
sinker.
And for me, that was kind of a nice little change up because not everyone was.
Not usually the message you get on Facebook.
Yeah, well, and not only that, he it was just a little bit different than the normal,
Yeah,
young
yeah.
people stuff that
Yeah,
they say.
yeah.
I mean, my generation, I always swore was doomed when it came to dating,
Yeah, it's doomed.
And I was like, wow, somebody actually gave like a nice and kind
Respectful,
compliment.
kind, yeah.
And so I was kind of like, and then I started looking at his profile and I was like, oh, he likes to hunt and he likes to fish. And I'm like, that's me, So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's unlike anything that now that I know him and got to know him, not even anything like you would ever normally say,
So
which is
Facebook
hilarious to
romance,
me.
that's kind of how it
Because
started.
he is
huh?
not that guy
Modern
ever.
day.
Yeah. And so anyways, and we had, like I said, had, mutual friends and, I was
Yeah.
friends with his neighbor. And so that's kind of how he even saw me to begin with, but he was working offshore
Yeah, I
on
worked
an
on
oil
oil
rig
rigs
at the time.
So
Out
I
of
was-
Louisiana?
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Yeah.
So I was
So he wasn't
home
even
3
here to
weeks,
be able to,
home-
Wow.
gone
come hit
3
on me in
weeks,
person.
so, yeah.
So all that from Opp, Louisiana, you wind up in Panama City.
Yep,
huh?
yep.
because of me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My parents have had a place on the west end of the beach around Lake Powell since I was probably 3 years old. But so I was with it only being an hour and a half away
Yeah.
from Opp. We were here every weekend, so it's kind of home away from home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now I'm here permanently for sure.
That's fantastic. And how long ago
Yeah.
was that y'all met?
Oh my gosh, what, 8 years ago?
9.
8
I
or
had a
9
thing
years
pop
ago?
up on Facebook the other day. We were
Really?
shooting our bows. It was
Wow.
9 years ago.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. So 9 years
2016.
ago. Wow.
Yeah, 2016.
We're getting old.
That is great. So you do real estate, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. And you do home inspections.
Yes, sir.
And then you also are a painter, and this
I am.
is a print. But man, I've been looking at your stuff for a while. Of course, you have a little boy that goes to our preschool.
Yep.
We love Barrett, and he's great and a
He's the
wonderful
best.
kid.
He's a mess.
He's
And
the best.
and that makes life special right there.
He's his daddy's child.
Yeah, oh yeah. I see he loves to fish too.
He
So
does.
he's like,
He
you got
does.
him already.
Yep, he
He's
does.
And
into
paint.
it.
He'll
Does he
paint.
paint?
Oh, he
yeah.
helps. Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep, he
How'd
does.
you get into painting? How does that start?
So, really, my grandmother, she was an art teacher when I was growing up. So I would always go to her house, pretty much every day we would do something. But it was just not really a, professional way. It was just, here, doodle on this, doodle on this. Then when I was offshore, I would always draw, do different stuff like that. Just never any really painting. And then when I met Taylor, she saw some of the stuff that I would draw, and she said, "You got to pick up a paintbrush." And I was like, "No,
And this was like a few years in, huh? Like, I mean, we were together for a
yeah,
little while.
we had done bought our first house.
Yeah, we had done bought our
done-
first
yeah,
house before
Yeah,
he ever
this was
painted his
only
first painting.
4 years ago.
4 years
4
ago.
years ago.
And you're producing stuff like this.
Yep.
You
yep.
should see the
Unreal.
first painting he ever painted.
Unreal.
We'll get the
Yeah.
chance to tell you the story
Yeah.
about that here in just a
So
minute, I'm sure.
she said you need to pick up a paintbrush. So I was like, I don't really think I could do that, but I'll try it. So we went to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, one of the two, and I got a little thing of kids paint, and I showed the guy a picture of what I wanted to do, and the guy said, you can't do that. He said, that's way too advanced for you, and if you tell me that, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Now you're going to do it.
Yeah. So, and actually, I think the first painting was whenever I won a contest for so I do a lot of the
Yeah.
Blue Marlin tournament stuff.
Yeah, I see that.
So I go around to that. Well, they were doing a art contest, and whoever won got to be the artist for the tournament. So my mom actually sent me the link, and I was like, well, I guess I'll enter it just to see.
Wow.
Well, I ended up winning. So, and then I was like, well, I need to paint something good, for an actual painting for, to have
And
there
that's
on
when I was
display.
like,
And then,
paint me something.
so yeah, and that's where the
Yeah.
real painting came
So
about.
the painting though the first, I consider it the first real one,
on
because
canvas,
on canvas, because the first one he did was like a tiny little, to win that contest, was just on paper. I mean, he literally painted it on
Yeah, I
paper.
didn't even do it the right way.
He didn't even do it the right way. So the first real painting he ever did is 100% the most special to me. It's my most favorite because I still to this day think it's the best that he's done. But it's also special because, we actually got married in Cabo San Lucas on the front of a sport fishing boat. Literally took my wedding dress off and we went fishing. And so the painting that he decided to paint was kind of something that was like from our wedding. So he
great.
painted a striped marlin, and it was called Baja Bandits. It was because we were in the Baja, and that's what
Oh,
we were catching
wow.
with striped marlin. So it's the most beautiful painting, and for it being one of his like true first, it's still to this day one of the best ones he's done.
Yeah, it
and
looks like
when
it's
I tell
coming
you,
off of the canvas. It's
it will
pretty cool.
knock your socks off when you see it. When
I
you're-
wanna see it.
To think
Yeah,
that
I
wow,
wanna see
that's
it.
his very first painting he ever
Wow.
did.
You know, that's a gifting.
It's insane.
That's a gifting.
I saw it and I was like, who did I marry? This is like the
Any
redneck
kind of
Picasso over
arts,
here.
just like music is, you can take music lessons and you can learn to play a song,
Yep.
but you have to be gifted from God to really have music in you.
sure.
And I think you could take art lessons all day long. I could,
Yep.
and I couldn't paint this.
Yeah, no,
I mean
I
that's a gifting from God. I mean
Yeah.
it's just something special.
Yeah, I've
Definitely.
never,
Yeah.
beside my grandmother, being an art teacher, I was too young to really teach. She showed me a few things, but I forgot that by the time 4 years ago came around. So I don't know anything about art other than I know I can pick up a paintbrush, put paint together, and put it on.
This is the
canvas.
kind of stuff takes you all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's fishing tournaments all over the world.
Yep.
And I mean, it really is. I got a friend of mine that's from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and of course he travels all over the world. And he paints Southwestern art and stuff like that. But when they want that look, he goes wherever, Europe, wherever they want that. And they have fishing tournaments all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
And people
Yep.
want this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
it's
only so
amazing.
few people that do,
Yeah.
what he does. It's not
Yeah.
like a very,
Yeah, they're-
widely done thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in our area. As far as marine art goes, I'm probably one of the only ones from here to Orange Beach or anywhere.
Is that what you like to paint, like fish?
Yeah, I do, and then because I know I'm good at it, and I know
It's about all
I
you
know
can get 'em
the
to do.
I know the anatomy of fish, how they
Yeah.
need to turn, how they act, and different stuff.
What
like
is
that.
it I saw you on one of the Facebook clips where you lay the cloth on it?
So
What's it called?
that's called gyutaku. So that's a Japanese form of art where you paint the fish. So take it back to the 18th century. The Japanese would paint their fish, lay rice paper on them, peel it off, and then that way they could show their catch off.
Yeah.
So now it's gotten big in these tournaments.
I guess before cameras.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is,
that was their
which is
bragging
his fish
rights.
was his pig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was their bragging rights. They could take it around. Hey, I caught this
Yeah.
fish.
I never
So
really
now-
thought about it that way.
Yeah. So they these tournaments have taken on. People love to put these things in their house. So
Yeah.
and I enjoy doing it. It's not my favorite as far as if you ask me if I would rather paint that or do a fish print, I would much rather do that because you're creating something, bringing it to life. But the fish prints are cool. You paint the fish. You can use canvas, rice paper, whatever you want to use. Lay the rice paper down, peel it off, and either you can leave it raw or you can go back and detail it. Now I'm leaving out a lot of details of how to make it look good, but basically, long story short, paint it, put the paper on, peel it off, and then you have your catch, on the wall versus
So much
getting a
better
big
than a
bulky
mount.
mound or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool way to preserve.
Do you
the catch.
sell your stuff online or?
So I do
I
have.
promise you
website.
won't talk about real estate in a minute. I'm fascinated.
I
by
would
art.
rather talk about
Look,
his art,
we're
to
gonna-
be honest.
we got time, we're gonna
because
talk about it
It
all.
is,
I
it is
do.
very fascinating.
It's kind of weird.
And I'm still mesmerized, and I've been married to him for years.
I don't really sell. I have a website, but most of my sales come from word of mouth.
Yeah.
I did an art show back in the spring and ended up meeting this guy who's actually in real estate. They connected. He connected me with his client who owns a Gulf Front house in Destin. ended up buying every one of my originals that I've
Really?
done. So I sold
All of them.
Piece
all of
he
them,
had.
every
He
single one
has
of them.
nothing left to sell anyone because
Yeah.
one person
So I'm-
bought
Wow.
it all.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean, how much do you produce in a year? I mean, you do one a month, one every 6 months, whatever.
if I had the time, I could do one a month. Usually, realistically, with everything else I got going on, you're going to get about 3 originals out of me a year.
Yeah.
But he had a good stockpile. You
Yeah.
know, that he
Yeah,
had been
I had a
working on.
bunch. That guy had bought 7, and I had started doing some more stuff that textured that didn't take me quite as long, but people love the
Yeah, he's
texture
really
stuff.
getting
so.
quick at it, so he's starting to be able to turn out more pieces than
Yeah.
what you
Now,
just
if
said.
you
know?
do something more detailed with water and stuff, it takes me longer. I could have 125 hours in a piece versus if I do a
But
texture
he's also
piece.
staying
that's-
up until 12,
Yeah.
1 in the morning every night just
Yeah.
about painting. So I mean,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
puts the time in.
It is a
the
lot of
effort
time.
in.
Yeah, it's very time consuming. But yeah, it to take it back now, I don't really sell much on. You basically have to know me to get anything right now, especially with the Gyutaku. That's mainly people that know me, local stuff. Bay Point tournament, I do stuff from the Bay Point tournament. I go to the Sandestin tournament.
Yeah,
Go to the Orange Beach tournament.
Yeah, we're kind of all over the coast here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So showing up at these different tournaments or definitely help getting my name out there more.
Yeah.
I'm getting calls from all over the place to do stuff. I got a publisher that actually sells my stuff. He's in South Carolina. He sells all the way from North Carolina down to the Keys.
Yeah.
So I
Key
get-
West, big.
We get
big
pictures all the
Marlin
time
company.
from people visiting,
Yeah.
down in the Keys, or like friends that
Yeah.
live here, and they'll send us a picture like, "Hey, I just saw a piece of Cole's art
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Keys,"
The Keys.
Yeah, I got
you
a
know,
big
which
one
is
in-
pretty cool.
It's a
big
big
one in
deal.
the window in faux hands. There's a
Yeah,
big
I saw some in
sailfish
faux
piece in faux
hands.
hands. You can see
Yeah.
from the window.
It's an original piece.
No.
No.
So
That's a
those are all
print.
prints.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
to get an original from me, you pretty much got to do custom or do like that guy did. Just know me. And just I took my trailer over there. He said, "I'll just take it all." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Like a mobile art gallery, if you will.
That's great. I saw that story. That was very inspiring.
Yeah,
It was.
it definitely hit me out of left field.
Well, there's a lot of things that hit us out of left field with that, and one thing that I think should be talked about was the power of God in that situation, because it gives me chill bumps when I talk about it, because we didn't know what we were walking into or who we were meeting, and we ended up having probably the most inspiring conversation I think I'd ever had with people that I didn't have a clue who they were that day. We sat on their porch overlooking the Gulf for probably 2 hours talking about God
yeah, and
and what he had done for their life and what he was doing for ours, and that we weren't expecting that.
It's truly a gift. It really is.
Yeah, it was incredible. So
I mean, there's things you can learn, and then there's things that God just gives you. I teach on what I call fruitfulness. And fruitfulness is what God puts in you that you're naturally meant to bring to the world. And stuff like painting, music, stuff like that, you can learn about it, and you can maybe hone a few skills, but you either have it or you don't. You can't practice fruit or go to a seminar for fruit or take a class in fruit. You're fruitful because a tomato plant produces tomatoes because that's what God put in him. And there's certain things that God puts in all of us that I think He means for us that makes the world better if we use that. And so many
put
people,
a paintbrush in Cole's hand.
so many people leave it dormant in their life. They never use it. Imagine if you had went your whole life and never really painted.
oh yeah,
I mean, that would
for
be
sure.
terrible.
Yeah, well, and now I mean, I look back and I'm proud to say that I can like this piece, the original piece. I donated it, and it sold for $3,000. I donated all $3,000 to hurricane victims last year in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I did a piece at Blue Marlin Grand Championship in Orange Beach. It sold for $3,000 for St. Jude. All that money went to St. Jude. So I'm able to do cool stuff, make money, but also do cool stuff and give back. So that's kind of cool to
beautiful.
me
That's
to be able to do
beautiful.
that.
For sure.
Just
Yes.
I put a lot of time in it, but it's worth it to me to be able to give back, to be able to, heck, I sit down and paint every day for a living.
That's fantastic.
so
It's a
That's all he
beautiful,
wants
it's a
to
beautiful
do.
thing.
He just wants to,
Is your
make
studio
it
at your
cool.
house or?
yeah, so we built a house on the bay, right there in College Point, kind of close to Harvest, and I built me an office with it's like a studio, but I kind of as an artist, you kind of go all over.
That's
the
a funny
place.
question.
You go all. I got that
He's
room's
taken
full of
over the
stuff.
living room now.
Yeah.
It starts in the office, then he moves to the living room. The next thing you know, I have a whole dead fish laying in my living room
Oh,
one
goodness.
time.
I brought
Printing
big
fish
mahi.
in the
Printing
living room.
fish,
I mean, you know, no big deal.
Yeah.
Normal stuff.
Yeah, it's just that's the
Normal
artist.
stuff.
The artist in me just goes wherever I feel necessary is where I paint.
I feel like one day I'm gonna walk,
good.
walk into the house and you're gonna be in the backyard, just like.
If it cools off a little bit. Yeah,
I
it's-
think that's what you got to do wherever you feel it. you
Yeah,
know, wherever
yeah.
where
And
you feel
now
it, 'cause-
Barrett's getting older. I don't want to be locked in a room without him
Yeah.
around, so he
Yeah.
can sit there and watch me paint and all that
He
kind of
gets
stuff.
up there and like helps him. You've got the best.
what does he
picture.
paint? What does Barrett paint? Or what has he painted?
So I'm actually working on a piece for the Blue Marlin Grant, or not Blue Marlin Grant, Billfish Foundation right now. It's a big marlin coming in, and he was like, "Can I help paint?" I'm like, at first I was gonna say no. I was like, you know what? If he messes it up, I can fix it. So
Yeah,
I let him. I said, do whatever you want to, son. If it looks good, it does, and then whatever.
Yeah, there was one time though where
Oh, I had a piece finished.
we had a piece. Yeah, there was a piece that he had finished,
Yeah.
and we had to be at a tournament the next day, set up.
Oh,
And there were some people that were going to be there that we really needed to see what he had going on, and
It's a big swordfish piece.
he
kind of
he walks
autographed
into
it.
the
Oh, he did
office
his
and Barrett
thing.
made a whole big white circle on it.
He just scribbled all over it, and I freaked out. And I was like, well, I just got some paint thinner and went in there and cleaned it off and fixed
Picasso
it.
Jr.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
He's a mess.
He is. I don't know it for sure yet, but I think he's gifted like you are.
He will be.
I can
yeah.
tell.
He will be.
I
Yeah,
can
he
tell.
will be,
There's
yeah.
things that he does and things that just the way if you watch him, he's
And that's why I want to do stuff where he can see me
Yeah.
doing it, then he'll pick up.
he's
on it.
already like wise beyond his years, if you will. He's very, very smart.
I can't wait.
and
I mean, I think
I
that's.
can
think
tell
it-
like he builds
absolutely.
things that I'm like,
Yeah.
you're an engineer already. What
He
are you
has that
doing?
creative
And you're
ability.
four.
Yeah, he's definitely
Creativity is
got
a
creative
beautiful thing, and not everyone has it. They don't. Everyone
Yeah,
does not
yeah,
have
for
it.
And
sure.
he loves to fish.
Oh,
he will reel up
if he
a
loves to
snapper all
paint
by
and he loves to
himself
fish,
at-
I think he's going to paint fish.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He was 3 years old, reeling in snapper all by himself.
That's good. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back on My Big Comeback.
Are you ready to connect your organization with an audience that is eager for inspiration? The My Big Comeback podcast, hosted by John R. Ramsey, shares powerful stories of resilience and redemption, featuring guests who have turned life setbacks into major comebacks. New episodes drop the 1st and 15th of every month. For those interested in being a part of this community, sponsorship opportunities are now available. To learn more, contact Meredith Cobb at meredithcobbhwc@gmail.com. Let's make a big comeback together.
All right, this is John Ramsey with My Big Comeback. I'm talking to Cole and Taylor Sauls. We've been talking about painting a whole lot. You're not a painter though, Taylor. You're into real estate. So tell me, you and your mom have your Salty Marlin.
Yep, Salty Marlin Realty.
So let me ask you this: did the name for the company come before the painting or after?
After,
That
because we
was
only
after.
opened up about
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Okay.
So I have always loved to fish. So,
Yeah.
I loved it even before I met Cole. So,
I just taught her how to do it.
oh, don't even go there. Don't even.
You taught her everything she knows. Huh?
He
Yeah.
wishes he could say
He
that.
wishes. That's funny.
I give him a run for his money sometimes. But no, I love to fish, and I've grown up fishing, and we're both extremely passionate about it. So, everything we do pretty much revolves around that lifestyle. And, it even goes into, selling waterfront properties and, all the things that we do with real estate. So, whenever we started the company, it was just kind of really a no-brainer. When we were thinking
Yeah.
about the company, I was like, I wanted something that was kind of like a clothing brand in a way,
Yeah.
something that people
Yeah.
want to wear,
Yeah.
and that's luxury at the same time,
Yeah.
catchy, boutique feel luxury, and
I love it.
people want to wear it.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to create something that was unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. And that's just kind of who I am as a person. I try to
Super
be
creative.
unique.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm creative in my own way.
Yeah.
I might not can paint, but I try to always be unique. And, I look at things through a different lens than everyone else.
Yeah.
I try to do things that no one else can replicate.
I love it.
So,
Was your mom already in real estate
oh
before?
yeah, I grew up
So
on her hip. She's been in real
Yeah.
estate for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I've been in it for 13.
that's
So
fantastic.
I've been doing it since I was 19 years old, and
That's
grew up on her
great.
hip doing it. Funny story, actually tried to not let me get into real estate.
Really?
She made me go to college.
Yeah.
And in typical Taylor fashion, I defied her. I dropped out a year in, didn't tell her.
Yeah.
Went and got my real estate license, didn't tell
Without
her.
her knowing?
Without her knowing. I popped up and said, hey, guess what? I got my real estate
Surprise.
license. Oh, and
Yeah.
I quit school,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do real estate because it's what I'm passionate about,
Oh, my
and I want to do
goodness.
it. And that's just me, though.
Yeah.
I've always been that type of person.
Yeah.
I always kind of marched.
Why
to the
didn't she
beat of
want
my
you to
own
go
drum.
into it?
Because it's a tough business.
It's tough.
And we went through the crash of
Feast or
2008
famine.
as a family. We owned a real estate company. Not a lot of people know that, but one of the largest real estate company in our area actually bought my mom out and merged her company with theirs. This was, I think, right before the crash of 2008.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
a lot of
So,
people lost their
it was.
living.
Now, thankfully, it happened, before that even, happened, and then shortly after the crash happened. So I'm sure my mom was probably thrilled that she sold when she did. Smart move there.
Because it's pretty much, real estate and construction walk hand in hand, and it's feast or famine. You're either making all kind of money or you're starving.
Well, I will say I've been blessed to, I figured out what works. And I can confidently say now that we can make it in any market.
Yes.
Because we're in a market right now that's actually worse than the crash of 2008. Not many people know that.
Yeah.
There's been less homes sell this past year than when the market crashed in 2008. And thankfully, by the grace of God, somehow we are flourishing. Our company ended up ranked top 1% nationwide.
Wow.
We ranked amongst large teams with people who had over 100 to 800 agents.
Wow.
And we only had 13 at
Wow.
the time. So that was definitely, for us being a brand new company that had just opened, that was, big for us. And so we're really just, we're pushing. And I'll say I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. So.
I heard an analogy one time. Someone said it was like surfing. If you learn how to surf, and that's what I say when you learn the market, you've learned how to surf.
Yeah.
And that means you learn that you can't just float in on every wave. You've got to wait for the right wave, and you've got to realize that they don't come every time. You have to and if you watch the market, it's on a 7 to 10 year swell where it just swells up to where everyone's going crazy buying everything. Then it crashes, and it slowly builds up again.
Yeah.
And if you anticipate that, and and I know some builders that have learned that not to spend all your money while you have it, because
strategic.
there's going to be some lean times. But you see it every time these people go out and they buy all these boats and golf carts and all this stuff, and then the market crashes, and then they're selling all that stuff.
Gotta
piece
live
by
within
piece.
your means.
And
That's
it's
my
like,
biggest
you
piece of
just
advice to
gotta
people.
somewhere live in the middle to where you're not spending like crazy, and so you can make it through those times that are not might going to come. They are going to come. It happens
I think
every
that's
time.
one of my biggest pet
Yeah.
peeves actually is, when I see people live above their means, because, we can all be humbled anytime.
Yeah, we can.
And I think that it is important to, be smart. You don't have to have the newest of everything
That's
or,
right.
the flashiest of everything. I mean, it can all be taken from you, and I would rather, be smart and invest my money, when you do have it.
So mom was probably thinking, I don't want her to go through the heartache of the extreme ups and extreme downs.
Yeah,
It's almost like there is no middle.
Well, luckily for me, things have changed a lot since when, my mom first started real estate. Back then you got to think they had no technology.
Yeah.
Real estate was totally different back then.
Yeah.
The level of volume that we do these days, wouldn't be possible if we didn't have the technology. Well, I guess I say that. Meanwhile, my mom was over there back in, back in the day. She was over there doing 10 to 15
Killing it,
closings
yeah.
a month while we didn't have any DocuSign. She had to
Yeah.
go, hand deliver and hand write
DocuSign,
contracts.
GPS.
And,
I saw an app the other day where you could pull up your property and hit a button, and it shows the boundaries, draws the boundaries on there for you.
I haven't seen
and
that.
I guess it's through I guess it would have to be through the
Oh,
property appraiser's
I know what you're
office or
talking
something
about.
like
It
that.
is, yeah, you
And I
can-
thought that's neat, you
Yeah.
know, and stuff like that's handy.
yeah, you can do that on the property appraiser site.
Technology
Yeah.
has changed
Yeah.
a lot with real estate
Yeah.
and with all
When
of
I
that.
first started, we had carbon copies.
Really?
Yeah, can you believe that? I know, I'm not even that
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
That's how much things have changed, though.
Yeah.
Since when I first started 13 years ago. I mean, we used to, we would go and hand write it, and
Yeah.
we didn't have DocuSign.
Do you have any particular specialty in real estate? You mostly do commercial or residential or whatever?
Yeah, I definitely have a few specialties actually. So luxury is definitely my
30A.
market.
You like
I
that
do a lot
market?
of Panama City Beach, 30A, and Destin. I do a little bit of everything though. I don't do just
Has
luxury.
the economy affected 30A like it's affected the rest, or does it not?
It's all
affect it?
affected, and believe it or not, I actually, for the first time, so it's kind of interesting. I follow the market reports monthly at my company meeting every month. That's one of the first things I go over is, hey, let's pull up the market report and go over what these numbers mean. And last month, for the first time, I actually saw the 30A Walton County, Okaloosa, that market.
Yeah.
That one actually, instead of prices trending down, prices started trending up for the
Really?
first time on that last market report.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And remember, they're a month behind. So
You think
and
we're
it's year
over the
year,
hill
but,
and things are going to start getting better now, or?
I left my crystal ball at home.
Yeah.
But I always.
What about this interest rate though? I mean, is it a stable at least?
Yeah, so interest rates are starting to come down. They have started to come down slightly, not much. I don't think we're going to see them come down just a ton in 2025, but I do, I think 2026 is going to be a good year. And I'll tell you, President Trump just released a press conference. This was, I think, just a few days ago. And the first thing he opened it up saying was, this is to the National Association of Realtors. And he said, I love realtors and I love real estate and I want to take care of you guys, basically.
Wow.
And he said that we are doing things, to fix this, and things are going to be getting better, and you guys are special. And
Well, and 6% is normal. It's actually
is, yeah,
what was abnormal is 2 and 3%.
Yeah,
that
we'll never
was
see that
weird.
again.
That's not normal. But I remember 34 years ago when we built the church, the first church. I remember us being so excited because we got a rate for 10%.
Crazy.
And we were just like, oh man, we got a great rate. And now we're offended by 10%. But 6% is good actually.
But you have to consider the big picture too, because yes, you're absolutely correct. Historically, 6% is a great rate.
great.
That is a fantastic rate. But prices are obviously so much higher now.
Yes,
and
that's true.
unfortunately, wages aren't really keeping up with that
they're
either.
not.
So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. But I will say, inflation has come down. Things are looking a lot better than what they were. And I think we're going to start seeing some major buyer movement within the next 6 months is my guess. Like I said,
Well, I
no
hope
one
so.
take that to heart because, hey, I am by no means a, mortgage expert, if you will. But I have been around it long enough to know that there is so much pent up buyer demand right now. People want to move and they have been stuck since.
It's definitely a buyer's market right now.
Yes, 100%.
You
You
know,
can get some major deals right now.
The three things we often talk about when we're talking about economics is, of course, affordable housing, which it's tough right now. When you're talking about a 1-bedroom apartment for $1,500 a month or more, that's tough. I mean, it's high.
Yeah.
Groceries super high still. I mean, unreal.
But
I mean,
coming down, I feel like I've seen it. I've
I
seen a little
hope
bit
so.
of a difference.
With same amount of kids at our school, we used to 5 years ago $800 a week. Now it's $2,700 a week. Our grocery bill for the same amount of kids, outrageous,
It's
super
outrageous.
high. And the other thing is childcare. And it's expensive.
Yeah.
And the reason it's expensive is because we're trying to pay the teachers an affordable wage, and still a livable wage.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So
Well, that's just that. The wages haven't, they
It's
can't
just
keep
tough.
up with, the cost of
They
living
can't keep
today.
up with the cost of living,
Yeah.
and it's very hard on people.
You got to wake up
Very
and
hard on
breathe
people.
and go
Yeah.
spend $500 a day just to.
Exactly.
Oh, I
You
don't
know,
walk
just
out
to
the
breathe.
door for less than $300 a day.
Oh,
so
I mean,
it's
I
and
know.
you go to the
crazy.
grocery store, 2 little bags of groceries, $100. I mean, we're
Crazy.
used to fill a grocery cart for
I know.
$100.
It's terrible.
Times have changed. So, but you're not seeing, like with 30A, you haven't seen the market really affected as much.
Oh,
or-
it's been affected big time.
Yeah,
That they
yeah.
have seen. When I tell you, I've actually just had this conversation with a client of mine the other day. I've got a cash buyer that I'm currently looking for, and he was, basically asking me like, why should I buy now? I think I should wait. And I was like, no. If you're gonna buy, you better be buying now. I'm seeing prices slashed by. I seen one the other day up to 300,000 in a price cut.
Yeah.
That slowly, but
Yeah.
they had reduced
Yeah.
by a total of 300,000, and I've seen a few even more than that.
Yeah.
People are getting major deals right now, and I don't think there's a better time to buy than now, because it's definitely starting to get better. I've noticed an uptick in showings.
Yeah.
I think it's going to start getting busier again. Is it going to be like it was, during COVID where, you had multiple offers all the time? No.
Yeah.
But it's definitely getting better. And, there's a lot of struggling agents out there right now because less homes have sold than the market crash of 2008, and
Yeah. I saw
so
the inventory was super high right now.
it's very high. I
Very
mean, you
high.
got all these homes, and we have so many agents. There's so many agents in this town that are all, competing for the same business. And I mean, golly, a small handful of us actually produce.
Like sharks.
And so, but it's sad, and so I just encourage agents that, are out there maybe struggling to not give up. There's still homes selling every day.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of who's going to be the one to sell them. And so that's what we teach at our brokerage is how to be the agent that goes out and goes after business. We're not waiting on it to fall in our lap. We create our own business,
Yeah.
That's why we've been successful, and that's why people are still doing deals.
How many agents do you have at your
We've got about 30, a little over 30. I got one that just signed on this morning.
That's
so,
great.
I
That's
think
great.
I think that'll actually make 32. He'll make 32.
That is fantastic. So what are some of the things that inspire you all as a couple? I mean, what really I know you love putting people in the home of their dreams and helping them with that. And you love to paint. What's some of the background story of really got you thinking about life?
Yeah. Well, that's a big question. For me, it's honestly the bigger picture of later on.
Yeah.
We have a whole life to live.
Yeah.
And we have a family to raise.
Yeah.
And,
You feel like Florida will always be your home?
oh, I'll never leave.
Yeah, you can't imagine retiring and moving to the mountains or anything like
Never.
that.
No.
Salt runs in our veins.
Salt runs in your veins.
With-
Well, there's the line right there.
We talked about it this morning, and
I got land in Alabama. Whenever we want to go to the woods, we can just go to
yeah,
the woods.
we have the
But,
best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Here is
Do a lot of hunting?
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We love it.
We when it starts cooling off, it's time to go hunting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We both love to bow hunt, and that's kind of our
Is
thing.
that right?
So,
You
yeah.
love to bow
Yeah,
hunt?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Deer slayer.
Oh yeah.
That's all right. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Heroes Child is a nonprofit organization that is on a mission to help community heroes with the everyday cost of childcare. We know that heroes like our military personnel, first responders, and foster families need care for their children. Heroes Child awards these families scholarships that go to help pay their childcare tuition. Use the QR code on the screen to donate now or visit heroeschild.org today.
Hey, this is John Ramsey back with you. I've got Cole and Taylor Sauls. We've been talking about fishing. We've been talking about real estate, but I want to get a little more personal now. And tell me someone in your life that's inspired you or that really, really moved your heart, really, really was someone you looked up to. Either one of you go first.
I would say, thinking back, to where I'm at now, I would say my grandmother. You know, being around her so much to even spark an interest in art, or maybe even giving me the gift. Who knows? My dad was a taxidermist too, so he's an artist.
That's funny because I started to say the Japanese thing you're talking about is almost a form of taxidermy.
It is, and it's kind of cool that, he was a taxidermist for 30 years, and he was one of the best in the South for sure.
Absolutely. That's part of where you got it.
So,
100%.
so being able to, kind of, form off of taxidermy just to do what I'm doing is really cool to me to be able
Yes.
to. But I would say inspiring to be my grandmother because I was with her so much, and she kind of. I know for a fact she's looking down, thinking, "Dang, he's doing.
He
way
done
more.
something with it.
He's doing.
He's
way more
done
than
something
I
with
would've
that
thought."
gift. That's
so
beautiful.
It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
That's beautiful. What about you, Tyler?
Honestly, my biggest inspiration has to be my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's probably maybe a surprising answer. I don't
No,
know.
no.
I feel like maybe I don't tell her that enough. But
Yeah.
my mom is hands down the most kind person.
Aw.
And, I've always looked at her as someone, like, she will give the shirt off her back to anyone.
Aw.
And, my whole life, she has, every bit of her life has been lived for me and my brother.
That's beautiful.
And you couldn't have a better mom.
And see, that's what makes life better. When you get into helping other people, it makes everyone's life better, but including yours, even the helper. And
Well, there's a reason I say that too, and I'll never forget it. When I defied her and got into real estate, Sorry, Mom.
No, it's okay.
She's
It's okay.
proud now.
Yeah, she's
You know,
proud
and I
now.
tell her all the time, I'm like, you should have known better. You should know that I would have made it through anything because
Yeah.
I'm like a firecracker, you know,
Yeah.
like nothing stops me. I do what I want to do
I
and
see
when I
that.
want to do it and I make it work, you know. But she said something to me whenever I, you know, first started. And she told me, she said, you know, Taylor, she said, you can never do this for the money.
Yeah.
She said, if you're doing it for the money, you'll never make it.
Yeah.
She said, you have to be in this to help people. And that's got to be the first thing that you do.
I believe it.
She said, you're going to give up money. You're going to pay for things you don't want to pay for. And it has to be about the customer. And, you know, this is the biggest purchase of their life.
Yeah.
And so that has always stuck with me.
That's
and that
powerful.
inspired me like you wouldn't believe. And so that is my answer. She's definitely my biggest inspiration.
That is great. And that's so with both of you. I mean, you've got that in your background.
Yeah.
But more than it's not about gifting is never about money. And you hit it right on the head with what your mom said. You can't do it for the money. It's got to be a heart thing that your heart is invested in helping people. Yeah. Your heart is investing in making this fish come to life. You know, and that's part of what people don't understand. When you really find your gifting, it's no longer a thing about I don't care whether I get paid or not. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing this because I've got to do it. It's part of who I am. And that's really the greatest thing that you bring the world is when you have those things that God meant for you to share with the world and you're sharing it. And that's where, to me, you know, prosperity comes from. Prosperity is not the amount of money we have. It's the amount of happiness we have. That's a prosperous life. And, you know, and I feel like the money always works out. You know, it'll work out. You're not going to starve to death. You're not going to starve to death with your gifting. Your gifting's going to, you know, open doors for you. Things are going to happen. You're going to meet people that buy every painting you have or whatever. And you don't know when or where. You have no way to plan that. It's something God has planned that he can see that you can't see. And helping people, you know, get in a home. It's not just a real estate deal. Otherwise, it would mean nothing. And things that mean nothing, you can only do for a little while, and then you hate them. You know, and the definition of a job is having to do something that you don't like. Yeah. You know, and it's like me, you know, there's been times in 34 years of pastoring the church, there's been several times where I had to go months without any pay at all, you know, and still get up there and do exactly what I was doing every other week. And sometimes, you know, in years past, have to take a side job because I needed stuff for the house and the church wasn't where it could pay me. But it was never about the money. It was, that is what I'm called to do. I love doing it for the rest of my life. As long as I can get up and speak to someone about the love of God, that's what I'm going to do every week or every time the door opens, whether I get paid or not. That's not the pay is irrelevant. It's a matter of sharing the gifting. And I'm sure if no one bought a painting, you'd still want to paint.
Oh yeah, I do it. I've done so many for free anyway, or you know, very discounted. That it's definitely. I feel like, you know, doing them for cheap is fine because I don't really, you know, I don't care. I mean, obviously, I want that to be my career, so I have to. Yeah. Unfortunately, charge for it, but I would be willing to do it.
Well, he's done his fair share.
And just like doing
things for free,
that
and,
piece
you know,
for donations,
charities
you know,
and things like that.
and
So.
that's, you know, I don't see a problem with making, you know, it a career, you know.
Well, and the thing is, when you get to flowing in your gifting, it naturally expands and goes to bigger audiences. And like I said, there's fishing tournaments all over the world. So I cannot see you staying on the Gulf Coast. Because, I mean, you may always live here. This may be a home base, but I think it'll take you a lot further than you can imagine.
So.
And you like to travel,
and maybe we can do a little fishing wherever we go.
Yeah.
I've gotten calls to get on private jets and go here and there. I'm like, God, I gotta inspect a house Monday. I can't. So there's really
We've turned down some of the stuff that that makes my head spin.
I'm like,
gosh,
turned down
we
a
have
lot of stuff.
responsibilities, you know.
I got a 4-year-old that's gotta go to school. We can't do that.
So what's on your bucket list? If I were to say what's something that you want to do or see that you haven't done or seen, what's on your bucket list?
I figure probably.
Have you traveled any? Have you gone out of the country yet?
Well, where we got married out Cabo was ours.
Cabo is one of our favorite places.
We went twice. We loved it so much that we went back 6 months later after we got married because we just had to go back again. We loved it so much.
And I would say, I mean, we have a boat, so we get to do a lot of cool stuff here.
What's the furthest you've been on your boat? Have you ever?
We probably ran on that boat in particular probably 60 miles or so.
Yeah.
Not bad. But we go, I've
We go
fished
a
some of
lot
these
further than
tournaments.
that.
I know some people that
Sometimes,
took their boat to the Keys. I mean, from
Oh,
Panama
yeah.
City.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
hold it up,
Yeah.
I'm ready for
Yeah.
that.
Well,
That's a journey.
You asked the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Something I would like to accomplish is, we have a boat now, but it's not the boat of our dreams by any means. I would love, for my real estate company to take off, and do so well to the point where I'm able to buy us our own sport fishing boat.
Yeah. You want to go out way out. How far do they go out for the sport fishing?
Oh man, you can go all the way to the
You can go
the
to
rigs
Green
in
Canyon,
Louisiana if you
300
wanted,
something
or-
miles from here.
Wow.
It's a
Say like for our tournament here, the Billfish tournament, how far do they go out? Do you know?
the Green Canyon.
Really?
A lot-
They go
lot
that
of them do,
far?
Yep.
They go
Yep.
far.
They put
Wow.
bladders on the front and back. And
Wow.
They'll
Yeah.
That's a
They'll
long
go.
drive.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah,
literally
it's
have
a-
bladders,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
basically bags full of fuel.
Yeah.
And they'll.
I mean,
you
these
know, when
boats
they-
are running. Some of them, can reach 40 mile an hour, 80 footer.
Would you want to do that? Go out that far?
Oh yeah, we
100%.
do it. Yeah.
Well, we do it now,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
friends of ours that own,
Yeah.
sport fishing yachts. But I just don't have my own yet, and my goal
Yeah.
is to make it so
I would say-
well that I can buy one and name it
I
myself.
would say bucket
What would
list.
you name it?
Oh,
Come on, tell me.
there's a
Tell
There's
me.
a few.
few.
I always make a joke. My joke to Cole is that I'm gonna make it so that I buy my own sport fishing boat and I'm gonna name it after myself, so that no one can ever tell me that it's a boys' trip and I can't go.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, we got a few names.
have a few. Well, we can't say it though because it's so good that we don't want someone
You don't
else
want
to take our
someone-
boat name.
I get it.
Because
I
I'm
get it.
gonna own a
I
sport
see-
fishing boat.
I get it. I get it.
Don't worry. I'm the type of person when I say I'm gonna do something, I
You're,
work so
you're
hard to
gonna
make it happen.
catch something
so
for him to paint.
I gotta keep that
Yeah,
name,
sure.
Yeah.
because we're gonna have it one day.
Yeah, I would say bucket list though. I think I would rather go to Magdalena Bay over
Yeah.
Rarotonga, honestly.
Where's Magdalena Bay?
So so if you got Cabo, which is on the tip of the Baja in Mexico, Magdalena Bay is up towards California a little
Yeah.
more. You got to go up, I don't know, 150 so miles
Yeah.
or so. Go up the coast and
Have you been to California?
have not. No.
It's beautiful. It really
I
is.
know. I would love to go see what California's like.
Someone
'cause-
said to me one time, they said, I love Florida. I just wish it didn't have the humidity. I said, there's a word for that. This is called California. I said, so California's
Yeah.
Florida without the humidity.
Yeah, and I remember Cabo
Beautiful.
being,
Yeah.
very similar. Like it's hot but no humidity.
I wouldn't want to live there, but I like to
Yeah.
visit.
Yeah,
But-
I would go visit for
the
a
fishing
week.
over there in Mag Bay is,
yeah.
You couldn't pull us out of Florida though.
No.
We love
Florida
everything about
people.
Florida.
Yeah. There's no way I could.
Well, and Florida's got its own feel. It's got its own feel. Florida's just
different
Florida.
here. Yeah.
For sure.
And I think I heard, and this was 20 years ago. And it's probably changed a little bit now, but the coast of Florida, the northwest Florida coast from Pensacola to Apalachicola was one of the most undeveloped coastlines in the world. Not the United States,
I'd never heard
but
of
in
this
the
before,
world.
but that's interesting.
And that's why people from New York and all that, when they hear, I can buy a place on the water for what?
Yeah.
Like that's unheard of up there because every little inch is developed. It's already gone.
Yeah.
It's already gone. And there's still a lot of ours that's left.
Yeah.
Or, and it's little less of it every day. But I mean, it's most undeveloped as far as beautiful. I mean, it's just beautiful. I mean, people talk about going to Hawaii, and I get it. It's different. But there is no more beautiful beach than Panama
So
City.
you
No,
take the
I-
ride
It's
down
the
to
most beautiful in the
to
world.
I
Cape.
tell everyone
the Cape
that.
is one of the prettiest
It's
places
just
around
beautiful.
here.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean, our
beautiful.
sugar white sands, those crystal clear
Yeah.
emerald green waters,
Yeah.
with that aqua hue to it, it is just, there's nothing
I
like
mean,
it here.
and I've been to California.
We're
I've been
spoiled.
all over the Atlantic coast and all like that. And it's pretty places. But when it's just talking about just beach, there is nowhere prettier than Northwest Florida.
My
I mean, it's
favorite
just
place
beautiful.
on earth is Shell Island.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful, and I hope it always stays natural and beautiful like that.
I think it will.
I know everyone wants to be here and everyone wants to own a piece of it, but they got to save some of it, for
sure.
for everyone and all. So a bucket list. So that Magdalena Island. What you say again?
Mag Bay is
Mag Bay,
It's up
uh-huh.
near the Pacific, or it is the Pacific Ocean basically. But the fishing there is just crazy. You can catch 100 marlin in one day.
All of our
Really?
goals revolve around fishing.
All of you. I'm kind of getting that theme on there.
Everything we do in our life
It
revolves
used to
around
be
fishing.
hunting for me. Now I'd rather
So
go fishing.
you don't read a lot. What's your favorite kind of television? What y'all watching these days?
Take a wild guess.
fishing shows. I want to guess fishing shows, outdoor shows.
We really, honestly, rarely watch TV.
We don't have time.
Do you do a lot of remodeling and construction stuff like that, or you leave that to someone else?
I do.
A lot of realtor people
Yeah.
are into building.
Yeah,
you know.
so we have like our thing is more Airbnb type stuff. So and then he has even done a few.
Yeah, I've done some remodels for some of her clients.
Yeah, so like
I pretty much built my
Pretty
whole
handy
house.
with things.
Oh yeah, he built our entire house pretty much
Yeah.
himself, just about. So.
So yeah, whatever needs to be done, I can do it for the most part.
Yeah. Cole's one of those people. We were talking about it earlier with Aaron, and he's one of those people who's literally good at everything.
Yeah.
Anything he touches, he can just about do it. So, which I'm thrilled for that because
I used to be good at everything, but as you get older, you kind of do less and less. And, this is the first church that's ever been built that I wasn't in the middle of building.
Yeah.
Because it just, let other people handle that.
Yeah.
I tell him all my
I'm starting
crazy
to get to that
wishes, and I'm
point.
like, "Hey Cole, I really want this," and he just goes and makes it happen. I love it.
That's fantastic.
If it's
So talented.
if it's something small enough, I can do. But if you get
Yeah.
like building a church, that's a lot of work.
This project was too big for me, so I
Yeah.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
But thankful that it's underway and we're getting close to
Yeah,
having it
they're
done.
moving along. On it.
Supposed to be done in March. We're probably looking more realistically like April now.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
that's so exciting.
yeah, it's been a long
That's
time
coming
coming.
up quick though.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It
that's
feels
gonna
like it's
Here
quick
before we
now.
know
It's gonna come together fast.
Because the whole
Yeah.
7 years of trying to get it going was
Yeah.
Yeah.
was tough. you
Yeah,
know, but
for sure.
Everything after the hurricane was
everything
a
after the
nightmare.
hurricane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you already had your realty company when the hurricane happened.
No,
No, it's
we've
just
only been open for 2
since,
years.
yeah.
So, but I'll never forget, when the hurricane hit, that was a year for me. I'll tell you a little personal stuff.
Sure.
But, hurricane hit. I had a really bad car accident, which put me into a MS flare up, which I didn't know I had.
Goodness.
So I actually found out I have MS, right there after the hurricane. So that year was tough.
I guess so.
Yeah, and everyone that knows me, no one ever knows I have it unless I tell them. And I guess now I'm saying it on a
Yeah,
podcast here.
But we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows,
So
to
you
be
handle it
honest.
well.
Very few people know because they don't expect it. They see,
Yeah.
this girl who's out there, fishing like a mad woman all the time,
Fishing.
catching all these
Yeah.
massive fish, and I'm,
fish,
in the middle of the woods, and I'm doing all these things.
Bow hunting.
You know what I mean? And so people don't expect it, I guess, and I'm just such a high energy person. I just don't let it affect me. But after the hurricane was definitely the hardest time I've ever had in my life. We had went through.
Oh, we thought we were never going to make
lot.
a dime again, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
bam,
we
it just-
thought that I was like, I'm never going to sell another house.
Yeah,
Everything's
because
destroyed.
I thought home inspections like, well, there are no houses to inspect now,
Yeah,
but that was
yeah.
definitely
I'll
not
never
the case.
forget. I was pure sick to my stomach. Like I
was rough.
threw up every day for.
It was tough.
It took about 2 weeks, and
weeks.
then I was the busiest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was insane. And I'm one of those people that believes everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think that hurricane, as much bad as it did to our area, it actually turned out to be one of the best things
Yeah.
to ever happen to us, which sounds absurd.
I believe
but,
that. I believe that.
We had a lot of really good things, come after that. So
I think
one of the
everything in-
hardest and one of the, best all at the same time. So.
Everything in Bay County will always be measured as before the storm or after
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
storm.
Yep.
Because it was the storm that changed our city, our
sure.
town.
Yep.
Well, we're so glad to have people like you in Bay County, and I'm inspired. I'm inspired by the painting. I really am. I look at it online all the time, and
Thank
glad. And I'm inspired by real estate. No,
Listen.
but I am. I mean, I'm just
there's
playing
much
with you.
fewer-
I'm just playing with
Yeah,
you.
there's like a million agents.
Yeah,
There's
that's
only
all
one
right.
Cole,
That's all right. That's all right. Well, I'm thankful for you all, and of course, we love Barrett, and we're glad to have you all as part of our school. And thank you for coming on the
Thank
podcast
you.
and talking with us
Absolutely.
today.
Yes, thank you. We
It
love
was
having
wonderful to
Barrett
have you.
there.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being
Thank
with us
you.
today.